Some people have asked me what I ate when I was out on the trail and what kind of food I used and how I resupplied. I did a combination of two different things. I had mail drops and then I would resupply in towns when I was out. And both worked really well for me. I used a slightly different method with both of them as far as what I was resupplied with and what I would pick up in town. I just got back from Walmart here. Went down to Walmart down in South Carolina and picked up basically what was a 5-day resupply for me. And cost me just under 50 bucks with everything that I'm going to show you here. It's kind of steep. Yeah, you measure it out, it's about 10 bucks a day, thereabouts. About 3,000 calories per day with what I was using. A lot of people get bored with what they eat every day. I wasn't one of those people. In my normal life, I eat pretty much the same thing day after day after day after day anyway. So that didn't really bother me. So I was lucky in that regard. But for breakfast, it was pretty basic. When I had a resupply, my friend would send me out some protein powder. I used this Syntha 6 protein powder. It's what I used before I even started hiking. I liked it a lot. It's really pretty good because it dissolves completely and it tastes good. So what he would do is he would measure out 2 heaping scoops into a bag and then send those bags out to me. And I would just have to mix these up in the morning with some filtered water and had a straw with me, and I would just drink this up real quick. Really easy, really lightweight, tastes good. It's about 420 some odd calories thereabouts and stuff for that from the morning. If I didn't have this, if I was actually shopping in town, because I only got a mail drop about every other week or thereabouts, I would actually do these Carnation Instant Breakfast deals. Not as many calories as you can get out of the protein powder, but 2 of these, same deal, mix them up in a bag and drink with a straw. That would get me going in the morning. In addition to that, I would usually eat a protein bar. It's 180 calories. Again, these are just picked up from Walmart. Lightweight, just shy of 200 calories per serving. It's not bad. And then after that, that was pretty much breakfast. Occasionally, in the beginning, I had these these Kellogg Nutri-Grain bars. The nice thing about these is they taste pretty good, and you can squish them up. I mean, like literally flat, and get them in your bag, and they still taste okay. They don't get all nasty and gross and disgusting, and so those work too. I didn't buy these all the time, and towards the end, I really kind of stopped using these. And then for lunch took a little bit of getting used to. I'm not a big lunch person in general, but so lunch took a little finagling, and lunch was the one thing that I probably varied from time to time as to what I ate. But eventually I more or less settled on picking up some of these sandwich thins. They worked really great for peanut butter and jelly sandwiches or peanut butter and honey. I like these better than what most people use are tortilla wraps. I always had a problem with the tortillas in that they would always break and they would crumble and they were just kind of hard and they tend to be really pretty heavy. These work great. You could take these and you could squish them down in your pack and without a whole lot of problem. They didn't fall apart. Bread was pretty good. They're kind of on the light calorie side. They're only 100 calories per serving, but I would usually eat 2 of these. So it's an extra 200 calories for lunch, which worked out pretty well. With that, I would usually get these Jif to Go's. Come on, get in the way. These are these little packs that you can buy now with predetermined rations of peanut butter. They worked really well. Just open it up, scoop it out, slide it on some bread there, and you're good to go. About 250 calories a pack, so you would usually have 2 of these for lunch. It's 2 slices of bread. And then I actually packed out honey with me. I got one of these little things of honey. And that worked really well for me. I enjoyed having honey. I'm not a big fan of peanut butter by itself, so I went with the honey. My friend also packed out for me. He would occasionally send to me in my mail drops jelly that he would squeeze into some of those applesauce bag things. We kind of repurposed those, and he would squeeze jelly in there, and I would carry the jelly with me. Worked just as well. A lot of extra work on his part, so you know, we only did it a couple times and stuff, and the jelly not being refrigerated always kind of worried me a little bit, but honey worked great. And then for dinner, I just went with the old basics and stuff and did the Nor pasta sides. I would usually pick up 3 of these, whether the Alfredo or another variety. And then every other day I would actually do one of these Idahoan potatoes, these instant potato mash items. They worked really well. And then with both of them, I would mix it up with a single pack of tuna fish. I ate tuna fish every night when I was out on the trail, when I wasn't in town eating. I would mix it in with both the potatoes, which I thought was nasty the first time I did it, but it was one of the best meals I probably ever had. And I would also mix it in with the Nor pasta sides, and ate that with that every night. Worked great. These are fantastic. You just, you know, you would pack everything out into a bag. This is the, I don't know how big this is, a quart, I think, size Ziploc. When I come into town and stuff, I just kind of tear these open just a little bit, just to get the air out. Cut with my knife. And there we go. I pack that out with one of these tuna fish deals. I put them both in the bag there, essentially. So then when I would set up camp at night, I set up my stove. Just add about 16 ounces of water, and let it sit in my cozy for about, I don't know, 15 minutes or so, and then everything was good to go. Has some extra broth or some extra water and stuff at the end and stuff, which was kind of a nice little tuna fish broth soup kind of thing. I look forward to it about every night, and again, I never got bored with it, so it was really good. And I also supplemented with M&Ms, which were my favorite. I didn't eat a single Snickers bar the entire time I was out. Not a big fan of Snickers, they're not my thing. But M&Ms worked real well. I didn't do M&Ms. Oh, baby, get out of my way. Really down. I did Twix. Twix worked pretty well too, except they would freeze and thaw and freeze and thaw and freeze and thaw, so the caramel got kind of nasty every now and then. And I also did Cosmic Brownies. When I didn't do Cosmic Brownies, I would do Swiss rolls. They both work really well. Cosmic Brownies, though, these are awesome in the fact that they're almost 300 calories per brownie. Maybe get out of the way. Which works pretty well. So they're pretty calorie dense. Get out of the way. And they're not bad. And then at the end, I got real fancy, and then I actually started picking up these Velveeta shells and cheese. These were an extra special treat for me. Again, I would repurpose the box. I would dump the shells, and then the little packet of cheese that came in here, and rehydrate them in camp at night, and do that. That works really well. These are heavy, so I didn't do it very often, so I only did maybe 1 or 2 of these, and that was really at the end of my trip that I started doing that. All of this would get repackaged. I would pull all the stuff out of the packages and stuff them in my stuff stacks. I had 2 different stuff stacks. I had one for lunch and snacks, which I really didn't do well with, and then I had one for breakfast and lunch. Snacks, everybody will tell you to eat snacks and stuff, and I agree that you probably should eat snacks. I was a horrible person as far as eating snacks. I just didn't do it. I didn't eat nuts, I didn't eat peanuts, I didn't eat gorp, I didn't do any of that. I was usually on trail by 8 o'clock in the morning. I was usually up about 7, had breakfast and everything, and had my camp broken down by 8. On trail by 8, would stop around 2 for lunch, and then would hike again until 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night, and then I would eat dinner. Not necessarily the best way to do it. I wouldn't recommend not eating snacks, because I think snacks are really important, but that's what I did as far as that was concerned. Of course, all of this was also supplemented with food when I was in town. So if I went to Walmart or I went to a grocery store, I would also pick up, say, you know, a pint of ice cream and eat that outside the store. There were a couple times where I ate a pint of ice cream and a half a watermelon outside the store with my spoon. You'll get some strange looks and stuff, but you have to get those calories in order to keep going. And of course, also you would eat tons of junk food and stuff when you were in town. Ordered a lot of pizza. My favorite was, you know, a large triple pepperoni pizza, and I would slather that with honey. That was always my favorite. When I was up in Hanover, New Hampshire, I spent on my own over $80 one night on Italian food at a restaurant and stuff that had to be delivered out to me and stuff, and bought a big old thing of lasagna and stromboli and a bunch of other stuff. So you spend a lot of money on food. Don't underestimate how much money it'll cost you in the long run, and but it's all worth it. And then a couple people have asked me also and stuff on my return and stuff if I had any problems with weight gain and everything else. A lot of people gain a lot of weight after they stop the trail and they get back. I gained probably about 15 pounds back of what I lost. I went back to running as soon as I got back, and so I didn't have the huge weight gain that some people experience. I was able to eat everything that I wanted still for about 3 weeks after I got back before I really had to start cutting back on my calories. But in that time, I developed a horrible habit of eating brown sugar. I needed a sugar fix one night, and I had some brown sugar in the cabinet, and ate that, and that turned into a habit of eating brown sugar. Domino's dark brown sugar comes in a little 1 pound box. I ate somewhere between 20 and 22 pounds of sugar, just straight up sugar from the boxes over a course of about 3 weeks, or thereabouts. Sometimes 2 pounds a day. Friends had a good time with that one, but did finally break that habit, but it was a lot of fun. But things are back to normal, more or less. I'm still running and stuff, so again, I didn't really put on a whole lot of weight after the fact, but something you need to watch. You can't eat, obviously, everything that you were eating when you were out there on the trail. But that was my experience. Again, there's no right way or wrong way to do this. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist by any stretch. A lot of people dehydrate food and take it out with them, or they have it mailed to them, and that's great if that's the approach you want to take. Obviously, it's more expensive usually to do that, and the pitfall that a lot of people run into that I've heard and I talked to was that you'd have to purchase everything in advance, and you would dehydrate it and stuff, and they send it out to you, and you get bored with what you had purchased. I didn't have that problem. Again, I ate pretty much the same thing every night and stuff that I was out there on the trail and stuff. I didn't vary it up very much. Once, I think, during lunch and stuff, I changed it up and stuff, and I got some pepperoni slices and babe, get out of the way. Pepperoni slices and dude, go lay down. And some Triscuits, and did that instead. But that was the variation that I did. But hopefully this helps you a little bit in your planning for the food. I know it can be a little scary and overwhelming as far as what you're going to need and where you're going to find resupply. Lots of places to resupply on the trail. Lots of Walmarts, lots of grocery stores. Be prepared for the prices to go up the further north you go if you're starting from the south, or to get cheaper as you go further south from the north. And prepare to pay more for at a regular grocery store than a Walmart or a discount club of some sort. Again, this cost me somewhere in the range of, it's a little bit less than $50 for all of this. This would last me for about 5 days. And then up north, it would cost me closer to $65, $70 for the exact same food. So just keep that in mind as you plan, and see you on the trail.